In today's episode of T-Shirt Driving, we get our infamous grinder out again, as we're going to do a couple different things to our Fiesta ST, one of which is grinding out our grill. So we've got a couple things in store: the grill, a custom NACA duct, and our awesome hood vents. So watch this. So I wanted to show you guys what's going on with my spacers now that I've got my new ones in. I wanted to show you the old ones. This is the passenger side. This one did not break, but if you take a close look, you can see that it's got a nice groove right on in there on potentially, yeah, this one was just about ready to break as well. I feel like again, I don't like the quality of these garage line spacers for the hub-centric ring. That's not okay. So that's the garage line one. That's, again, not the one that broke. I will show you that later. Here's the H&R one. And if you notice, it's got a taper here versus this jagged edge. Again, it's got tapers everywhere where it contacts. That's to help prevent any stress fractures, or in this case, what happened. So here we are, 10mm spacer, fits right on. There's a little wiggle room. You know why? Because with the Wilwood brakes, even though it's got that little thing in there, it's still in a little bit. I might have to do I don't want to Dremel anything. Shit. Well, this is annoying, because yeah, that looks, yeah, there's definitely, I see light between spacer and shit. I can't win. Apparently I can't win. So I think I know the answer of what I'm going to be doing. Not today, because I don't have the time for it. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to end up hammering these guys back out and just sanding away just enough from my hub-centric ring to make this fit. Because yes, I could get a little Dremel in here and bore this out, but if you pay attention and look, that's the same spot where this taper is, and that's going to ruin the integrity of this. Whereas if I take off, it's not even, it's like less than a millimeter, honestly. Like, it's so freaking close, but it's not safe. So that's what I'm gonna do. Also, if you're wondering if the garage line spacer had the same issue and that's why it failed, no, because here's the functioning one. Yes, it's got a little stress in there, but it's completely flush up against the rotor hat. So that was not the case. It's definitely stressed out, I will say that. But big brake kit problems. Big brake kit problems. Okay, let's show you now the one that failed. So this last one, I might have to replace the stud. I don't know, I'll take a look. Because it won't come off by hand. Oh, gnarly. Oh, dang. It really ate these things up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to replace this stud for sure. Possibly. Well, let me see. No, it's not the stud, it's the lug nut. I'll just clean these up. But yeah, you could definitely see there's a lot of metal in there. They just need to be clean. Nothing a little rethreading will do. I have extra of those, but look at this guy. If I can even get it off. Put this down. Yeah, so the hub ring came off as I showed you guys when it happened. Yep, that is what happened. My ARP studs are no longer a nice, cool color, as this one is All of them are kind of a little funky. Hopefully I can clean these guys up. Oh, I think I'm gonna do that right now too. One more thing too is I have an oil leak somewhere. I'm hoping it is my axle seal, since I had to take that off like 500 times, twice. But I gotta go find an oil leak too and figure out where the hell it's coming from, because apparently the Fiesta's dripping a little bit of oil on the driver's side. So I'm thinking transmission axle seal. Gotta find that. I just retapped this bolt and just check out all the gunk, all the metal shavings that were inside of it. That's gnarly. So I tried the grinding, or the sanding, and it was taking too slow. So I'm gonna speed this up with the grinder. So because this has a taper design, I went ahead and beveled my edges, and it fit very snug, like perfect. So I'm gonna put in my ARP studs and do the other side. Woohoo! Success! Take it for a test drive, but tighten up your lug nuts first. For my sake, I'm gonna tighten them up to 110 foot-pounds. That's what I usually did when I was at track days. I'm gonna do that versus the 90 or 100. So we'll do that. Drove around the block, tightened up everything again. Driver's side was just a little turn, little movement before the click of the torque wrench. Not a big deal. I'm gonna check it every time I drive for the next month or so, just out of paranoia with my lug nuts. But now I've hit the mile mark, 200 miles. I get to drain the last of my braking fluid and put in my new fluid, oil. I'm gonna go with Royal Purple filter, as well as in the box we're going XPR. We're going on top of the top with Royal Purple. So that's what we're gonna do. You guys know how an oil change works. You've seen me do 2 of them already, but we're gonna do that. Robbie's heading over. He's gonna do the data log, the first one. Again, I'm not gonna be in the car, so hopefully there's daylight. If not, well, it was done. So right now we've got maybe an hour and a half of daylight, so I think it's possible we can get this done for you guys'. And my carb sticker doesn't want to stick, so I might have to silicone that down, because yeah. So we just got the grill all completed, as you can see right here, completely hollowed out. And yes, this is a completely different day. Sorry about the sun. During the day of shaving out the grill, I had a little accident. Not with the grinder, but keep your hands away from rotating parts. I got stuck in the serpentine belt, so had to take a little break. But anyways, a week later, here we are to keep going with our project. So I'll show you a little bit. We've got some brake ducts that we're going to be installing today with our awesome velocity stacks. Then we have, if I move it, my Catless downpipe right here. My awesome carbon fiber air intake feed gaskets. Things that I've broken. So transmission, breather valve, axle seal, because one of my axles is leaking because of the famous plug of having to remove that plug, the axle bracket. So this is the plug that's supposed to be there, and these are brake duct bolts, or brake shield, dust shield bolts, which is going to be used for our awesome, really cool brake ducts. Sorry, brain fart, still early in the morning. Super hot. This week we're having our hottest temperatures of the year. It happens down here in Southern California. So first thing I have to do though, I've already taken the wheels off. The axle that's leaking is this side. One, I'm gonna have to drain the fluid, but also two, I'm gonna have to remove this bolt, the axle bolt, which I believe is a 32 millimeter. Yes. And we're gonna do that with an impact gun. So drain all the fluid first before removing the axle. I have to undo the tie rods, the lower control arm to be able to remove the axle, because the whole hub assembly has to pivot out of the way. And then after that gets all put together, I'll take the brake calipers off, take the discs off, and put on my awesome brake ducts too. So at least I'll be under the car. I've got shade up. It's still supposed to be over 100 degrees. Ugh, so much work. I hope the camera batteries last. That's my biggest concern. The sun is officially out. There we go. So when you take this one out, to try to make less of a mess, which is always the said tricky part, make sure to have plenty of things to cover everything up. And then I like to use a shield. But when you hold the shield, hold it from the top so you don't get the oil on you. Because when it comes out, sorry about the camera, it's just going to be pouring out. And I really don't want it to be on my brand new bushings. Hopefully you could see this more than just my arm. But give it a second, if not, editing. Oh yeah, my finger hurts. Oh god, that fluid is already pretty gross. But that's kind of expected with the break-in, I feel like. All the fluid is drained, so we're going to take off this axle bolt with the impact wrench or impact gun. I've got this in here just in case. It shouldn't rotate, but just in case to hold it still, because there's no fluid in our transmission. Sometimes you just need a little bit of momentum and not hitting your brakes. Like that. And you just pry and tap with a hammer. Although sometimes it's easier to pry and tap with a hammer on this side. Can't see anything. Yeah, it wants to come out. There we go. Okay, so again, we gotta remove our bracket, the 13 millimeter. As most things are on this car. Oh, this bar does not help me, but you want to get this in, and you'll probably feel that you're up against the wall. You don't want it to be touching it, because when you go to extract, you're going to dig in to the side of your housing, and then you won't get a good seal. So you push it up, you let it touch right there, and you push it up just a hair, so when you go to pry, you're prying the seal and not the side of the wall. And if things go well, like this, it pops right out just like that. Sits there. You get your bearing installer tool, and then you get your hammer, and hopefully there's enough room to swing, which honestly I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this on camera because there's no room for the hammer and the camera. Hopefully you guys can see it. If not, sorry, I used the hammer. Oops. That looks pretty good to me. That looks like that's seated in. Actually show you guys. So, right here, we've got this washer stuck in here. This is why I use OEM shit. I mean, this worked, but I want to get this out so I can use the proper thing. So I'm trying to get this lip to pop up and out. I'm gonna put the camera down because it's really difficult to have the camera down here and there's hardly any space without knocking it over. So next time you see me, hopefully that's out. I got it. Severely warped. And the surface looks pretty good for the mating surface, so time to see. Sorry about moving the camera so much. Time to see if this is the correct bolt. Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Move. Insert. Rotate the disc until it slides in, and then give it some nice little pops, and that's in. So we got the stock cat out. Again, it's been modified. To show you the difference between all three, we have completely stock cat, the modified cat, and then the Catless full 3-inch. So the biggest difference from stock to modified catalytic converter is everything from here up is the same, but from this O2 sensor down, it's a 3-inch pipe and flex pipe. Also super flimsy, very little flex. I couldn't even flex that one. Also, this one hasn't been used yet. This one has. I remember when I first got this, I couldn't move it either. Yeah, there's also no catalytic converter. So this is 3.5 inches up here, goes down to 3 inches, and the collector is a full 3 inches as well, just like this one. That's the 2-inch stock. So where I'm looking to get a power gain is, one, from not having any catalytic converter, so there's nothing to filter through, but also up here there's still a little bit of a bottleneck. When you look at how that is shaped, it still pinches off. So even though it may look nice and beefy horizontally here, when you turn it, that's pretty thin. So better airflow, more power, yay. But oh, I forgot to mention, my tune is done for a 91 octane on my smog legal tune, so we can go for a drive after this and I can tell you guys how the car feels and push it full throttle for the first time. It's exciting. I'm very excited. What do I expect? I expect it to feel fast, very fast, so yeah, we'll see how it actually feels. Also, white shirt when it's really hot gets really dirty. Yeah, so downpipe's gonna go in, and then my brake ducts and the awesome lower intake feed. If you're wondering why I'm wearing a different shirt, something horrible just happened. I had to go to the store, specifically Ford, because I broke something. Not intentional, obviously, but as you guys just saw, I got the catalytic converter out. No problem, nothing. As I was putting in the stock downpipe, yeah, snapped it right in half, tightening it, which is strange because it came out just fine, and going in all of a sudden, and I sprayed it beforehand with lubrication, going in it just became super difficult, and so I was trying to go back and forth, and I felt that it was getting warm, so I let it cool down, sprayed it again, and I literally said, I'm going to regret this, and I just went to tighten it, and came right off. So, what does that mean? It means I have to remove my turbo, drill and retap that hole. I already got the new bolt. I got my gaskets I need. You guys have seen me do turbo installs. Also, it's, I guess, 105 degrees out right now. So, super hot. I'm working slow. A little injured still. Yeah. I guess I'm not installing those brake ducts today. Probably tomorrow. Let's get this turbo done. Okay. So when you don't have to worry about taking video, you can get your turbo out in 20 minutes, which is what just happened. So as you can see, this is broken. Right there. Here's the most common break up here, but it sheared off. So I'm gonna try first with some vice grips and see if I get a good hold of it, be able to take it out. If not, then I've got a drill and tap, but hopefully I could get lucky. So before any drilling actually happens, you want to make sure to completely cover up, tape all the openings, the oil ports, the coolant ports of the turbo. Everything should be taped because as you're going to be drilling, there's going to be shavings going everywhere. So you want to make sure everything is sealed, whether it be a vacuum line, a main port, an exhaust port, everything. So yesterday didn't go to plan at all. Yeah, but got the turbo back in, fixed the bolt, got the downpipe in, everything worked out perfectly. I finished last night at about 11:30 after putting everything away, washing up. Took the car for a drive, and it was still 90 degrees at midnight. That's how hot it's been here. Which, ironically, the next day, today, we're expected to have thunderstorms. So we're underneath our giant carport, and it should rain probably in a couple hours. We're gonna get the brake ducts done today and the lower intake feed, hopefully. So first up, you want to remove your caliper. And hang your caliper as well. And remove your rotor. I just want to say it's a world of difference this morning from yesterday because of the weather. It just feels so much cooler. Anyways, time to cut. Hopefully it's not too early. I'm gonna make noise anyways. Oops. Eh. So then to put our bracket on now, we hold it up, we get our nice brand new brake dust bolts. Shit. Well, day 2. So apparently today's video is all about how to use tap and die sets all the time. This is definitely going smoother than yesterday's turbo bolt. So it's on, and if you notice, there's 2 different bolts because this is the OEM heat shield bolt. This is the, or dust shield bolt. This is the heat shield bolt of the catalytic converter or the exhaust manifold or turbo. So it's a little bit shorter actually with the thick washer, so it fit perfect in there to make it nice and tight and clamp. So there's no wiggle. I mean, there's a little down there, but with the hose on it, it's not going to have any issue. and showing you where the vent is going to end up. So now we have both sides mounted. I'm going to take the front bumper off because, for one, it'll be easier access on hooking up my front mount of the feed for the brake ducts, but also I need to relocate the horns or bend the mount somehow because it's going to be blocking, if you can see, the intake feed for that. So it's officially started raining, and I'm about to take this off and do my cutting. So this, I think it's ingenious of hooking my skid plate. This is flexible, so I can attach it first, and then as I push it up into place, this will go into the correct shape. Now before I go and try and connect my skid plate, I do have to loosen these up. I always have to do this. Attach it without fretting about anything, really. It's that long where, boom. Awesome lower intake feed and upper intake feed. 2 intake feeds. That's pretty spectacular. Alright, brake ducts. God, it's humid. This sucks. Alright, I gotta take the fog lights out and mount the velocity stacks. Oh my god, it's so humid now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be playing with fire to make our velocity stacks fit. So although the outside to outside is the exact same as here to here, this is a little thin. So when you try to push it in, because of the tapered design, it's not a flush fit. So what we're going to do, add some heat, using leather gloves of course, add some heat to the outside, so if there's any discoloration, it's on the outside, not so much the inside. And then press it in. With the heat being plastic, it should melt it enough where it's a nice snug fit. If it's still coming out nice and loose, we're gonna silicone it in. Might have to do that anyways. But that's the idea, what we're gonna do, without having to use any rivets or bolts. It's just gonna slide in. To be able to drop it in place. So as for right now, it does not look like silicone is needed. These are not coming out. They're nicely melted in. They're still a little warm, but nothing crazy. I'm gonna put them in. So I wanted to show you guys what I ended up for my final rendition. I also mocked up my skid plate. I gotta cut it a little bit. I'm not gonna put it on yet because I have one more surprise I want to do for you guys. But take a look. We've got, this is passenger side. Comes in. Goes underneath. It'll clear the skid plate, come out the rear of the skid plate when it's placed in, and into here. Same thing over here on driver's side. Comes in, goes around the bracket under the charge pipe, under the 2-point brace. Still will clear the skid plate, come on around and in, and there's enough slack that when I turn the wheels, nothing's gonna happen. It's not gonna pop off or stretch or anything like that. So I'm done for today. Gonna put some wheels on and go for an awesome drive after cleaning up and all that stuff. So I hope to see you guys on the drive.